Hello children, welcome to online classes. Today I am going to explain some important MCQ from D and F block elements, metallurgy, coordination compounds and polymers. Which pair of ions do not have same number of unpaired electrons? So for each ion you have to find out the number of unpaired electrons. So when we want to find out the number of unpaired electrons, you should know how to write the electronic configuration. For the option A, manganese atomic number 25, its electronic configuration after argon 3d5 4s2. For Mn2 plus, remove 2 electrons from 4s, then its electronic configuration will become 3d5. So number of unpaired electrons 5. Its pair Fe3 plus, iron 26 atomic number, electronic configuration after argon 3d6 4s2. For Fe3 plus 3d5 4s0. So number of unpaired electrons 5. For this, both are having Mn2 plus and Fe3 plus both are having same number of unpaired electrons, n is equal to 5. So this is not correct answer. Do not have same number of unpaired electrons. That is the question. So A is not correct answer for us. Similarly, titanium and nickel. Titanium atomic number is 22. So 3d2 4s2 atomic number. For titanium 2 plus, it becomes 3d2. So number of unpaired electrons 2. For nickel 28 atomic number, 3d8 4s2. For neutral atom, for nickel 2 plus 3d8 4s0. Here number of unpaired electrons 3. Which pair of ions do not have same number of unpaired electrons? So this pair, titanium has 2 unpaired electrons, whereas nickel 2 plus has 3d8 means 2 unpaired electrons, not 3. This pair also having same number of unpaired electrons, so B also not correct. Next to Cu2 plus, for copper 29 atomic number, its electronic configuration 3d10 4s1. For Cu2 plus, it is 3d9 4s0. Number of unpaired electrons 1. For titanium 3 plus, just now we discussed, titanium 2 plus 3d2, titanium 3 plus, for titanium 3 plus, n 3d1, so n is equal to 1. So Cu2 plus and titanium 3 plus both are having same number of unpaired electrons 1. That's why not correct answer. Now coming to Fe2 plus, 3d6 4s2 for iron. Fe2 plus means 3d6, n is equal to 4. Vanadium 23 atomic number, 3d3 4s2 electronic configuration. For V2 plus 3d3, so number of unpaired electrons 3. So in the option D, Fe2 plus has 4 unpaired electrons, while vanadium 2 plus has 3 unpaired electrons. That's why D is the correct answer. So this type of working is needed. You should know how to write the electronic configuration and how to calculate the number of unpaired electrons for transition metals and ions. So correct option is D. Number of unpaired electrons present in same type of question. For manganese, atomic number 25, 3d5 4s2 after argon electronic configuration. For Mn2 plus, you remove 2 electrons from 4s, then its electronic configuration 3d5. So in 3d5 number of unpaired electrons 5. 5 orbitals of D having 5 unpaired electrons. So correct answer is C. Common oxidation state of D block elements. For D block elements electronic configuration n-1 D 1 to 10 Ns1 to 2. So almost all elements except copper and chromium group, they have the valence configuration Ns2. That's why almost all d block elements can exhibit the common oxidation state by losing 2 electrons from Ns. The common oxidation state is +2. Chromium and copper, such type of group elements can exhibit +1 also, but that is not common. Which of the following is not correct about transition metals? Their melting and boiling points are low. Actually, their melting and boiling points are high. So, this statement is wrong. We have to pick up the wrong statement only, which is not correct about the transition metals. So, as the melting point and boiling points of transition elements are high, as the statement is given low, this statement is wrong. So, that only correct answer for us. Then you check the other options also. Their compounds are generally colored and paramagnetic. This statement is correct. They form ionic compounds in lower oxidation state. So, whenever the transition metal atom is in lower oxidation state, form ionic compounds. While it is in higher oxidation state, it forms covalent compounds. So, this statement also correct. They form alloys. So, as 3 statements are correct, first statement only wrong. Wrong statement only correct answer for this question. So, option is A. Which of the following are d block elements but not regarded as transition elements? To become transition elements, at least one unpaired d electron should be there. D subshell should be incomplete. At least one unpaired d electron should be there to become transition element. Zinc d block element is one in which the differentiating electron enters into d subshell d1 to 10 configuration. So, all d block elements may not transition elements. The last group of the d block, 12th group, zinc, cadmium, mercury, in those elements n-1 d10 and ns2 configuration, even in their +2 oxidation state, there is no unpaired d electron. That's why zinc, cadmium, mercury belonging to 12th group of the periodic table or d block elements, since the last electron enters into d subshell, but as they are not having unpaired d electron, they are not considered transition elements. So, option is B. The outermost electronic configuration of chromium. Chromium electronic atomic number 24, after argon, up to argon 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6. So, instead of writing this electronic configuration, we can put the argon in the bracket. After that, electron enters into 4s, then 3d. So, 4s2, 3d, 4 should be the electronic configuration of chromium. But in order to get more stability, one electron jumps into 3d from 4s. It is opposing the Aufbau principle. So, 3d5, 4s1, this is considered abnormal electronic configuration since it is not obeying Aufbau principle. So, this is stable electronic configuration. That's why the chromium configuration 3d5, 4s1. The element among 3d series which exhibit maximum number of oxidation states from 3d: scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc. Here in this 3d series, the differentiating electron enter into 3d subshell, that's why called 3d series. In this 3d series, the highest number of oxidation states exhibited by manganese, 4s2, 3d5 electronic configuration. Sometimes 2 and 5, all 5 electrons may be involved in the bond formation, as in the case of MnO4 minus. Here the manganese oxidation state of manganese is +7. In the entire 3d series, +7 is the maximum oxidation state that is exhibited by manganese. Which one of the following is paramagnetic? Zn2 plus. To become paramagnetic, number of unpaired electrons, at least one should be there. 1 to 5 or any one unpaired electron should be there to become paramagnetic. In Zn, the electronic configuration of zinc 3d10 4s2, for Zn2 plus just 3d10, no unpaired electron, that's why Zn2 plus is diamagnetic. Same thing, Hg2 plus titanium 4 plus also having no unpaired electron, whereas in copper, if you observe, for copper atomic number 29 at electronic configuration 3d10 4s1 abnormal configuration, Cu2 plus meaning 2 electrons you have to remove. The electronic configuration of Cu2 plus is 3d9. In 3d9 configuration, one unpaired electron is left over. That's why number of unpaired electrons 1. This is paramagnetic. So correct answer is D. Which one of the following forms a colorless solution in aqueous solution? Colorless solution, when it is dissolved in water, it should give colorless, means no unpaired electron should be there. So no unpaired electron is present in which one we have to observe. Let us take scandium. Atomic number of scandium is 21, 3d1 4s2. In scandium 3 plus you have to remove 2 from 4s, 1 from 3d. So for scandium 3 plus 3d0 4s0, there is no unpaired electron. That's why if no unpaired electron, no excitation of d electron from lower d orbital to higher d orbital, dd transition is not possible. So it becomes colorless. So correct answer is scandium. In the same way, you have to check the electronic configuration for others. They can have one unpaired electron at least. That's why they are colored in their solutions. D block elements form colored ions. So according to crystal field splitting theory, d orbitals split into two sets. Set of 3 d orbitals T2z and set of 2 orbitals Ez. Energy gap will be there between those two, that is called crystal field splitting energy. So if at least one unpaired electron is there in d orbitals, any one d orbital, the electron excitation takes place from lower d orbital to higher d orbital, that absorbs one photon from visible light and exhibits another color. So any substance to exhibit colors, certain amount of energy must be absorbed, that is absorbed due to dd transition. So dd transition is responsible for the color of d block elements. So correct answer is C. In the inner transition elements, the differentiating electron enters into, in inner transition elements, the differentiating electron enters into F subshell, but that belongs to n-2 shell. So n-2 F subshell only can take differentiating electron in inner transition elements, that is nothing but F block elements. So correct answer is D. Cryolite is an ore of aluminum because Na3Al(F6). Na3Al(F6) is the formula, and this is used to extract aluminum on large scale. So cryolite is considered the ore of aluminum. The molecular formula of cryolite, just now we did, Na3Al(F6) is the molecular formula of cryolite. Which one of the following is a mineral of iron? So you have to learn the minerals of each metal or element. The mineral of iron is here magnetite, Fe3O4. Froth flotation process is used for the concentration of sulfide ores, because sulfide ores are lighter ores only used for the purification or concentration of lighter ores like sulfide ores only purified by froth flotation. Cyanide process is used in the extraction of gold and silver, because they are converted into complex by dissolving in sodium cyanide. So correct option is both A and B. C is the correct option here. Extraction of zinc from zinc blende is achieved by electrolytic reduction, that is not sufficient. roasting followed by reduction with carbon. During the roasting, zinc blend ZnS is converted to ZnO, roasting, heating of the mineral in excess of oxygen below its melting point. So, at that time zinc sulphide is converted to zinc oxide. Zinc oxide, when it is reduced with carbon, we can get zinc metal. So, correct option is B. Roasting is generally done in the case of the following: sulphide ores. Generally sulphide ores are converted into oxide ores so that reduction becomes easily. Sulphur is removed in the form of volatile gas sulphur dioxide. So, correct answer is C. A substance which reacts with gangue to form fusible material is called slag. Gangue is nothing but impurity. Gangue, when it is chemically reacted with flux, gangue is infusible mass that can be converted into fusible mass by reacting with a flux. So, that fusible mass which is obtained by the reaction between gangue and flux is called slag. So, this type of purification method is called smelting. So, correct answer, a substance which reacts with gangue to form fusible material is called flux. A. Complex is formed in the extraction of silver cyanide complex is formed. Which among the following is the most acidic? So, acidic nature of oxide generally increased with oxygen content of the oxide ore. Otherwise, it is directly proportional to the oxidation number of the metal. Here manganese has the oxidation number +7. So, Mn2O7 is the most acidic among these four. The method of extraction of metals from oxide ores involves. So, oxide ores are subjected to reduction. So, reduction with carbon. For the reduction purpose, we can use carbon as a reducing agent, or sometimes we can use aluminum for Fe2O3 such or Cr2O3 such type of metal oxides. Even magnesium also we can use. So, all are suitable for the extraction of metal from oxide ores. So, correct answer is D. In the extraction of copper from its sulphide ore, the metal is formed by the reduction of Cu2O is nothing but Cu2S. The IUPAC name. So, here first you select the ligands. Bromo is there, bromido, chlorido, NO2 is nitrito N. Through N it is attached to the central metal atom. So, with nitrito N and amine 3. So, in alphabetical order we have to arrange these ligands. Amine comes first, after that bromido alphabetical order, then chlorido, after that nitrito N. So, in this is a sequence. So, where is that sequence? You have to check. Triamine, bromido, chlorido, you check the B option. Triamine, bromido, chlorido, nitrito N, platinum 4, oxidation number of the platinum is 4. After that outside chloride is there. So, correct option is B. Which is the strongest ligand? So, this is according to spectrochemical series. You have to find out this. Here you have to remember Cn minus is the strongest ligand among all these. Which complex cannot ionize in the solution? So, any complex to ionize, counter ions must be there in the complex cation or anion or counter cation and anion should be there outside of the square bracket. So in the option B, chloride ions are there outside of the square bracket. They are separated when dissolved in water. Here also this is ionizable salt. Here also 2 K plus ions are released due to ionization. But in the option A, there is no counter ion, counter cation or counter anion outside of the square bracket. So when it is dissolved in water, it won't be ionized. So answer is A. EAN of copper in cuproammonium sulfate. Cu NH3 taken 4 sulfate. So here 2 plus, this is cationic complex. In this case the oxidation number of the copper is 2 plus 2 because ammonia is neutral ligand. For Cu2 plus, we know the electronic configuration of copper as 29. In Cu2 plus, 29 minus 2. After that, after losing 2 electrons, while it is converting into Cu2 plus, it is taking 2 electrons from each coordinate covalent bond. So the coordination number of copper is 4. It is taking 2 into 4, 8 electrons. So net number of electrons remain present around the central metal atom in a complex is called effective atomic number. So effective atomic number can be calculated by the formula atomic number of the central metal atom minus oxidation number plus 2 into coordination number. This is the formula to calculate effective atomic number. Net number of electrons left over at the central metal atom in a complex is called effective atomic number. So here effective atomic number 29 minus 2, 27, 27 plus 8, 35. So answer is D. Vitamin B12 is a complex compound containing cobalt 3 plus. Here cobalt 3 plus is present at the center of porphyrin ring. When these two are observed, first one and second one both are having same molecular formula, that is why they are called isomers. Then what type of isomers? Bromide and sulfate both are exchangeable ions. So when a complex have exchangeable counter anions and anionic ligand, such type of compound can exhibit ionization isomerism. So first one undergo ionization to release sulfate ions and the complex with 2 units of positive charge, and second one undergoes ionization differently to give bromide ion and the complex has coordination sphere has 1 unit positive charge. So these two are differ in the ionization, that is why they are called ionization isomers. SCN is a monodentate ligand, it can form only one dative bond. The primary valency of iron. So here generally according to Werner's theory, the generally oxidation state of the central metal atom is the primary valency. If you calculate the oxidation number of iron, you will get the answer as plus 2. So the primary valency is plus 2. 2 is the primary valency. What is monomer of nylon 6? So nylon 6 is formed by only one type of monomer, that is caprolactam. So in this caprolactam, since 6 carbons are present, the polymer is named as nylon 6. What are monomers for bakelite polymer? Bakelite is thermosetting plastic. It is formed by the polymerization of phenol and formaldehyde in the presence of acid. So this is phenol formaldehyde resin. The correct option is phenol and formaldehyde, option C. The initial linear product during the formation of bakelite, that is phenol formaldehyde, is novolac, linear polymer. First this is formed, after that branching starts forming bakelite. So answer is novolac. What is monomer of natural rubber? Natural rubber is formed by the polymerization of 2-methyl 1,3-butadiene. 2-methyl 1,3-butadiene. This is also called isoprene. So isoprene units undergo polymerization. This is 1,4 cis polyisoprene is the natural rubber. So answer is isoprene. Natural rubber is also called, so natural, during the formation of natural rubber, 2-methyl 1,3-butadiene undergoes addition polymerization. First carbon of one monomer combines with the fourth carbon of another monomer, but one CC double bond remains present. At that CC double bond, cis configuration we can observe. That's why this is the natural rubber is called cis 1,4 polyisoprene. Cis 1,4 polyisoprene is nothing but natural rubber. So correct option is D. Which element is added for the vulcanization of rubber? In order to change the properties of rubber to get convenient properties, useful properties, for the natural rubber, sulfur, sufficient amount of sulfur is added and heated, then we can get vulcanized rubber. So during the preparation of vulcanized rubber, sulfur is used. Chloropene on polymerization gives, so chloropene is nothing but 2-chloro-1,3-butadiene. This is chloropene. On polymerization, it undergoes addition polymerization to give polychloropene, that is also called neoprene. So answer is C. 1,3-butadiene and styrene undergo polymerization to give, this is addition polymerization. Styrene is nothing but phenylethene and then 1,3-butadiene. This is 1,3-butadiene. So Buna-S rubber is formed. Buna-S rubber, Bu stands for butadiene, S stands for styrene. During the polymerization, sodium is used as a catalyst. So Na stands for catalyst. This is Buna-S rubber. What are monomers for Buna-N polymer? So one is 1,3-butadiene, another one is nitrile, acrylonitrile, CH2 double bond CHCN. This is vinyl cyanide, also called acrylonitrile. So instead of 1,3-butadiene and acrylonitrile, instead of styrene of the Buna-S rubber, here we are using nitrile acrylonitrile. That's why it is called Buna-N rubber. Bu stands for 1,3-butadiene, N stands for nitrile, Na stands for catalyst. So answer is A. Propene undergoes polymerization to give. So propene, we can write it as CH3 CH double bond CH2. This undergoes addition polymerization to give polymer which is containing this type of repeating units. This is called polypropene. Monomer of PVC, polyvinyl chloride. So when we want to get the monomer from additional polymer, very simple, just you remove poly, you will get the monomer. So vinyl chloride. So name is not given, structure is given. Vinyl chloride is nothing but CH2 double bond CHCl. So correct option is A. Which of the following are examples for biodegradable polymers? PHBV we know, biodegradable polymer. Nylon 2,6 also biodegradable polymer. That's why both A and B is correct answer. C is the correct answer. The ligand ethylene diamine, CH2 ethylene diamine two NH2 groups are present. So because of two donor atoms, it acts as bidentate ligand. The geometry of complex involving dsp2 hybridization, one d orbital, one s orbital and two p orbital undergo intermixing, forming four dsp2 hybrid orbitals. They are lying on the same plane directed towards four corners of the square plane. So the geometry is square planar. A is the option. The oxidation number of platinum in the given complex. So platinum, let the oxidation number of platinum X. Ammonia is a neutral ligand. For the entire ligand, ammonia oxidation number is 0, 5 are there, and oxidation number of chlorine is -1. Total number of chlorines 4 are there in the entire complex molecule. That's why x plus 0 into 5 plus -1 into 4, sum is 0. So x minus 4 is equal to 0, therefore x is equal to plus 4. So oxidation number is plus 4. The catalyst used in the manufacture of polythene by Ziegler-Natta catalyst, that is nothing but Ziegler-Natta catalyst. The Ziegler-Natta catalyst is nothing but titanium tetrachloride plus triethyl aluminum. This is Ziegler-Natta catalyst. The method is used to prepare high density polyethylene, HDP. So correct answer is B. Which compound is used in the manufacture of nylon 66? Nylon 66 is condensation polymer. This is formed by the formation of amide bonds. So this is an example for polyamide. The monomers which are present, adipic acid, this is adipic acid, and hexamethylene diamine. So in between these two, amide bond is produced. So correct answer is A. So children, like this you have to do as many problems as possible. With this I wanted to end this session. Okay, all the best.